Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Aremu Smog, and welcome to Webos YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be talking to you about open source projects. And at the end of today's video, you would have contributed to your first open source project ever, or even have confidence to go out there and contribute to any open source project. But before I get into it, please do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and of course, drop your comments in the comment section. So the first question you want to ask is, what are open source projects? So this is not a dictionary definition or anything, so you can quote or not quote me anywhere. So open source projects are simply libraries, packages, or frameworks that solve unique programming problems that somebody has gone ahead to create. And ideally, if you want to create these solutions, it might take you, let's say, days, weeks, or even months. So imagine you are building a framework like Laravel, which works with PHP, or you are building a framework like Express, which Node.js developers use. That could take months or years for only you to build. But some people have gone ahead to build these solutions and have made it available for everybody to use and even contribute or add their own input. So what are the things that you need to get started in order to work in an open source project? So the first thing is you must at least be able to understand and read English language, because most open source or most programming languages are actually written in English, except maybe you are from China and all those Asia countries where they are more indigenous and they tend to have a programming language even in their own language. The next thing is to understand the programming language of the project that you want to work on. So let's say, for example, you want to contribute to Laravel paystack by Prosper or Temu. You are Unicode developer. You need to understand how PHP works. You can't just jump into the code base without having an understanding of how the code base works. So the next thing you need to do is you need to have a GitHub account. You need to understand how Git itself, how it works. And the next thing is you must have passion for open source. So another question that people ask a lot is, so if I don't understand how to code, or let's say you're a junior developer, a mid-level developer, and you don't really have your head around most of the complex things that is going on in a complex code base, how then can you contribute to open source? One of the ways you can contribute to open source is by making videos like this, teaching people on how to get things done. Another way is you can contribute to documentation of open source projects, because writing the code and getting other developers like you to understand what the code is doing can be as stressful as hell. Another way you can contribute to open source project is even simply by fixing typographies. If you watch Prosper or Temuyiwa's video on open source Africa, he made references to a lot of big guys in the open source world who started out by fixing just ordinary typos. So that's pretty much it. Those are the things that you need in order to be able to start contributing to open source projects. So now that we have the theory all sorted out, it's time to get into the cool stuff. So like I mentioned, we'll be using nigerialogos.com as a case study, and the procedure that will be used in this video can be used practically in any open source project you'll be contributing to, either now or in the future. So here's what I'm going to do. I'll go to nigerialogos.com. For many of these projects, they will have either a landing page or a GitHub page that you can go to directly. So in this case, I'll go to nigerialogos.com and click on contribute on GitHub. So on GitHub, you want to look for a file that is named contributing.md. So contributing.md usually contains instructions about how to contribute to an open source project. So I'll just right click and open this up so that you can see what a typical contributing.md looks like. And if you want to know what markdown files look like or how to create markdown files, you can actually drop a comment in the comment section and we'll show you a tutorial on that. So this is what the contributing.md file of nigerialogos.com looks like. So you see instructions such as you can use a form, it takes 72 hours, but using the pull request method is actually much more faster. It's your pull request gets reviewed in less than 24 hours. Then you now need to pray to God for this to be matched. So I'll come back to the project. So like I mentioned, you need to have a GitHub account, of course. So the first thing you want to do is to fork this project. And by forking a project, it simply means that you are creating a copy of this project in your own GitHub account. So that way you can modify things, then sending the changes over here. So I'll click on fork. So it says, where should we fork Nigeria logos? Aremu Smog. That's my GitHub account. So it might take a minute. So it's refreshing. And if I come over here to Aremu Smog, which is my GitHub account repositories, I now have Nigeria logos. So what can I do with this? So I'll simply come over here and click on Nigeria logos. Then I'll click on code. Then I'll copy this link. So the next thing I want to do is to make a copy of this project available locally on my computer so that I can modify things in VS Code and so on and so forth. So I'll come over to documents here, then I would right click and click on git bash. Then I'll simply type git clone, then paste the URL that I have copied. Okay, in Git you can use Ctrl V. So this is the shortcut. I'll just paste this guy and press enter. Then the project gets cloned or copied to my computer so that I can begin to make changes. So let's take a look at what the change we'll be making. So when you are contributing to nigerialogos.com, let's check the documentation again. So one of the things you need to note is, so the title of the name or the title of the company can have spaces, but the file name cannot have spaces. You have to separate it with an underscore. That with respect to the name and even the file structure for the PNG and the SVG logos. So you need to take note of that. So this is the file we'll be uploading, web boss. You can see the folder as web_boss and the files to web_boss. This is the PNG file and this is the SVG file. So let's see if this project is done cloning. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'll copy just the folder of the logo. Notice it has to be a folder per logo. So I'll simply copy this, open Nigeria logos and go inside the logos file. Then I'll paste this here. Cool. Then I'll open up this folder in VS Code. Okay, so I missed the step. The ideal thing that I love to do is so where is it? Web boss. So I'll delete this. So what I love to do is this. So I will just change my directory and say cd Nigeria logos. Then I would create a new branch, and to do that I'll simply say git checkout b. Then I will call this branch web_boss. Yeah, so I would then paste the logo now. So this is not a tutorial on how to use Git, so I wouldn't go into details of some of the commands. So I'll open this up now. So you can see that the logos folder have been modified. The next thing to modify is the logos.json file. So I'll click on this guy. So in fact, I can just come in there. They already have an algorithm that sorts this out on the website. So here's what I'm going to do. I'll simply copy one of these guys, copy, then paste it. Then I would say, what's the name of the brand? The name of the brand is Web Boss. File name, which is the folder name, web_boss. The URL is https webboss.com.ng. Then the category. So if you come to the contributing.md file here, you can see all the available categories, and there's an instruction here that requests are reviewed within 24 hours and so on and so forth. So if that information is relevant to you, you can also key into it. So but WebBoss actually falls under EdTech. So I'll come over here and set the category to EdTech. EdTech. So I'll save this up. The next thing is to commit this code. So I will simply come back to Git here and say git add. Then I would say git commit. I might have an issue here, but I would say webboss logo. So it's saying that I should tell or the Git does not know me yet, and that's because I had to install Git and VS Code for the purpose of this tutorial. I'm actually on a 31-day challenge where I'm supposed to do everything within my browser. So hopefully by the end of the month or early next month, I'll be dropping a video on my experiences so far. So we'll just go ahead and set this up. I'll simply say git config global user.email is my email, gmail.com. Then I'll set name to git config global user.name. I'll just say smog. So I can come over here now and commit the code. Yeah. So the next thing is to push the code to GitHub. So I'll simply do git push. And because this is a new branch, I would use the flag set upstream web boss. So it's saying here that web boss does not appear to be a Git repository. Could not read. Okay, so I'll say git upstream. So origin. Set upstream origin. So I think I just needed to add origin for the code to be pushed back to my GitHub repository. So I'll pause the video. So unable to access. So that's definitely internet issue. So I'll pause this video now, resolve my internet issue and get back to it. So if you see this kind of error, fatal error, it's definitely issues with the internet. Okay, so I'm back and hopefully my internet issue has been resolved. This is Nigeria, God save us. So let's try this again. So it's asking for my GitHub sign in. Like I mentioned, this is the first time I will be installing all of this software, so I need to do everything manually. So, and I don't plan to keep all this software on my PC. So it's pushing. Good. So now I have the branch web boss in my repository now. So if I come over to GitHub and I refresh, so we already get the notification that there are new changes. So here's what I can do now. I'll come over to the original project to open a pull request. So I'll go to Nigeria logos. So I'm back in the main project and you can see that it's already suggesting that I should compare and pull request. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'll click on compare and pull requests. So it's giving you this information already that you're able to merge, blah, 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 blah. Then you can drop a comment if you want to. I'll simply say in the comment web boss logo. Or what you could do is give a description of the brand or what the brand does. So I'll click on create pull requests, Okay. So I've created the pull request now. So it's saying that review required at least one approving this. It's saying that header rules, this check has started. Okay, so these are like automatic checks that the owners of the repositories have put in place in order to ensure that people are trying to send in the right things and so on and so forth. So I would refresh this guy now to see the status of things. So apparently it's telling me that all checks have passed, but just to ensure that we're on the same page, like for skeptical reasons. So let's just refresh this page. So after a successful refresh, so here's what we have. We have that review required. So that means that the maintenance of this project needs to review what I have sent in before they can actually merge it in. And when it's reviewed, I will actually get notified via the email that I used to register for GitHub. And of course, it can be matched later on. So a quick summary of steps, just in case you are not contributing directly to nigerialogos.com, you just want to contribute to another project. The first thing is find a project to work on. The second thing is you fork the project so that you can have a copy of it in your own GitHub account. The next thing is you clone the repository to your computer locally. The third thing is for you to make the actual code changes. And before you make the actual code changes, usually advisable you do that in a branch. Don't do that in your master branch. Create a new branch for the changes that you want to make. When you are done creating those changes, push it to your GitHub repository, and don't forget to do flag set upstream and add origin after set upstream. When you are done with that, the next thing is to open a pull request. Pray to God that your pull request be matched and you'll become a superstar. If you made it to the end of this video, I want to say a very huge thank you for watching this video. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and of course drop your comments in the comment section. I'm very sure that YouTube will suggest a very nice video for you. Please do not forget to check that out too. Cheers.